When Toby Keith passed away, fans braced for tributes about his music, his awards, and his legendary career. But nothing could prepare his family or the world for what they discovered inside his garage after his death. It wasn't a trophy, it wasn't a platinum record, and it wasn't a hidden song waiting to be heard. It was something deeply personal, something that revealed a side of Toby Keith that fans had never seen before. Stay with us, because what they found will leave you speechless and it will forever change the way you remember this American icon. On February 5, 2024, the curtain closed on one of country music's greatest icons. At only 62 years old, Toby Keith passed away after a 2-year battle with stomach cancer. He died peacefully at home in Oklahoma, surrounded by his wife, his children, and his closest loved ones. For fans, it was heartbreaking news, but for his family, it was the loss of a husband, a father, and the heart of their world. Diagnosed in the fall of 2021, Toby Keith faced chemotherapy, surgery, and radiation. The fight was grueling, but he never stopped showing courage. He didn't hide from the public either. He openly shared updates, assuring fans that he was still standing tall. In 2023, he even returned to the stage for select shows, proving his resilience and his love for performing. Those moments weren't just concerts, they were powerful reminders of his spirit and determination. Throughout his career, Toby Keith left an indelible mark on country music. He was a 5-time Academy of Country Music Entertainer of the Year, a recipient of the Merle Haggard Spirit Award, and an inductee into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. His songs weren't just hits, they became American anthems, courtesy of The Red, White, and Blue, a defiant patriotic classic, and Should Have Been a Cowboy, one of the most played country songs of the 1990s, turned him into more than a star. He became a storyteller of the nation's soul. Behind the spotlight, however, there was another side to him. His daughter Crystal Keith, a singer herself, called him her hero. His son Stellan spoke of his father as a guide and a rock of strength. His wife Trisha, whom he married in 1984, stood by his side through everything. Together they raised 3 children, Shelley, Crystal, and Stellan, and built a family that was the foundation of his life. Though the world saw Toby Keith as a bold, patriotic performer, at home he was a devoted father and husband whose family always came first. In the early 2000s, Toby Keith purchased a 160-acre estate near Norman, Oklahoma, which he named Dreamwalkin' Farms after one of his albums. This wasn't just another property, it was his sanctuary. The 9,000-square-foot home was designed not for show, but for comfort. It was a place for his family to gather, with open spaces, a theater for quiet nights, and a kitchen that became the heart of the household. Beyond the home, the property included a cabana for barbecues, a racquetball court for games, and a private lake where Toby Keith often fished and reflected. Dreamwalkin' Farms wasn't just a symbol of success, it was a haven where life slowed down and family remained at the center. But one part of Toby Keith's estate stood out above the rest: his garage. Walking inside wasn't like entering an ordinary storage space. It was like stepping into a shrine of American muscle cars and treasured memories, each vehicle carefully chosen, each one carrying a piece of his story. The 1969 Mach 1 Mustang stood tall and proud, its long hood and roaring engine embodying pure ambition and power. It was bold, fast, and unforgettable, much like Toby Keith himself. Nearby was the 1972 Oldsmobile Cutlass, a car admired for its smooth handling and polished style. It represented balance, showing both the rugged performer on stage and the gentle family man at home. Then there was the 1977 Pontiac Trans Am, gleaming in black with its golden Firebird emblem spread across the hood. It was an unmistakable nod to Smokey and the Bandit, a car that revealed his playful, nostalgic side and his love of pop culture. But the most meaningful of all was the 1963 Chevy Impala, restored with patience and care. This wasn't just another collectible, it had belonged to his father. For Toby Keith, it was a living connection to his Oklahoma roots, to dusty back roads, childhood laughter, and the lessons of family. Every time he drove it, he was reminded of where he came from and the man who helped shape him. Together, the cars weren't just machines. They were chapters of his life. The Mustang roared ambition, the Cutlass whispered balance, the Trans Am shouted nostalgia, and the Impala carried legacy. Yet among these shining machines, his family uncovered something even more powerful. In a quiet corner, tucked between rags and tools, they found a handwritten, unfinished letter. It was addressed to Trisha and the kids. This wasn't written for the public. It wasn't a press release or a statement to fans. It was raw, vulnerable, and deeply personal. In the letter, Toby Keith expressed gratitude for the quiet mornings they gave him, for the love that sustained him beyond the spotlight. He admitted regrets: missed family dinners, late-night tours, and moments when fame kept him away from being present as a father. He urged his children to always choose love over applause, reminding them that human connection mattered more than fame. The letter wasn't complete, but it revealed the truest side of Toby Keith. Behind the confident performer who commanded arenas and delivered anthems that shook stadiums, there was a husband and a father, a man who simply wished for more time, more dinners at home, more nights with his children, more quiet mornings with Trisha. That unfinished letter was his heart laid bare. It became priceless to his loved ones, worth far more than any award, any trophy, or any platinum record he had ever earned. It wasn't a performance for fans. It wasn't crafted for the spotlight. It was his final song, written not with a melody, but with ink and truth. Even as he faced the hardest battle of his life, Toby Keith was still thinking of the future. On February 15, 2022, just months after his cancer diagnosis, he made the difficult but necessary choice to sign his will. His estate was valued at an astonishing $400 million, a fortune built not just from music but from decades of smart decisions and business ventures. His empire included chart-topping albums, his independent record label Show Dog Nashville, his popular chain of restaurants I Love This Bar and Grill, his successful Wild Shot Mezcal brand, and even a stake in Big Machine Records, the label that would go on to launch Taylor Swift into stardom. But his legacy wasn't just about numbers. It was about protection. Trisha, his partner in life for nearly 4 decades, stepped forward to ensure his wishes were carried out. She requested that probate documents remain sealed, a rare move for public figures, but one that spoke volumes about their desire to keep family matters private. For a man as public as Toby Keith, that act was his final shield, guarding his wife and children from the constant eyes of the world. When news of his passing broke, tributes came flooding in from every corner of the music world and beyond. Blake Shelton, one of his closest friends and fellow Oklahoman, wrote, "You were the toughest man I ever met. Thank you, brother, for being a friend, a hero, and an inspiration. There will never be another Toby Keith." Dolly Parton called him one of the greats in every way, a sentiment echoed by countless others. Carrie Underwood painted a picture of his journey into eternity with her words, "Saddle up the horses, Jesus, 'cause a true blue cowboy just made his ride up to heaven. Sign him up for the choir. We're going to miss you, Toby." Randy Houser paid his respects in the way musicians know best, through song performing I Love This Bar live, calling him an American icon. Ricky Skaggs described him simply as one of the good guys, while Lee Greenwood praised their shared love for the military and Toby's unwavering commitment to performing for the troops. And it wasn't just stars who mourned. Fans across the world flooded social media with videos, photos, and heartfelt stories of how Toby Keith's music had shaped their lives. His songs weren't just entertainment. They were companions through heartbreak, celebrations, long drives, and quiet moments of reflection. His passing left a silence, but also a chorus of gratitude that continues to grow louder with each tribute. So, how should we remember Toby Keith? As the performer who gave us anthems that shook arenas, as the businessman who built an empire, as the devoted husband and father who left behind a letter filled with love, or as the patriotic voice of a generation? The truth is, he was all of these and more. He lived boldly, loved deeply, and left behind a legacy that will inspire for generations. Though his voice is silent now, his songs, his values, and his spirit will never fade. Rest in peace, Toby Keith. You'll never be replaced. If his story touched you, Honor his memory, like this video, share it with fellow fans, and subscribe for more untold stories of music's greatest legends. Thanks for watching.